unlock the device. So a sculpture of me is not going to work, a 2D picture of me is not going to work. It actually needs my face here to go in and unlock the device. So interestingly, when we were in the labs in Redmond, we took two identical twins, okay? And we scanned the image of one twin inside the camera, and the device was so sensitive, the algorithms that we've written were so sharp that they were actually able to identify and distinguish between two identical twins. So it unlocked only for one twin, and the other one was kept completely locked out. So that's the power that we brought to the algorithms. So how does this matter to you as government? There's very, very confidential data that you all have on all your devices. And this is just another form of authentication and security to ensure that even if the device is lost, it's difficult for people to get in into the device, right? And you don't have to remember multiple user IDs and passwords. The ease of which I got into my device actually makes me a lot more productive, because I'm not remembering multiple user IDs and passwords, not only for entering into the device, but even for logging into other applications. So if you're not utilizing Active Directory, all your Active Directory authentications can actually be tied to this form of authentication, and you can actually have a seamless entry to all the applications inside the organization. Okay. So the second thing, which is really great on the device, is the fact that I can go ahead and write on the device. Right? A lot of you all have got meeting notes. I can see people with pens in their hand. I can see people with a couple of journals. And a lot of creative ideas strike you at various points in time. So how quickly can you get to the notes, and how quickly can you go ahead and do that? So here's my trusty pen that I have here. I'm going to give a single click on the pen, and it opens up my application. Did I press it? Okay, there we go. So OneNote is an application that the gentleman earlier during the day, he had shown you OneNote as an application. I've just created a very, very simple template. I put the Government of Gujarat logo over here on it, so you can create your own kind of templates. And then I start to take my notes. So I'm going to write Charmaine, that's my name, says hello. And what you'll realize is, when I was writing, the ink was just flowing very, very seamlessly through all the way, right? So it's a great inking experience. It's almost exactly the same way that you would use ballpoint on a piece of paper, and the ink just flows out from the pen and you're making your notes. Now, I didn't quite like the way I wrote those exclamation marks, right? So ideally, if I was on pen and paper, this is what I would have done. But I've got an eraser in my pen, right? So I use my eraser and I basically erase that piece out. So all the capability. Now why did we do this? Why did we come up with pen as a form of input? I mean, the keyboard and the mouse is obviously there. There's already touch which is there on my device. Why keyboard? Why the pen? And the reason for that is because pen is the most natural form, or a pencil is the most natural form of input into anything that you do. From the time you're a child, right? The first thing that you do is take a piece of crayon and you go and you scribble on your walls in the house. And so when pen is such a natural form of input, we want that to be the expression on the device. Because this is what encourages creativity. You can draw diagrams, you can write a whole bunch of things, write a poem, compose a poem on the fly. You can look at doing all of those various activities out here. And that's why we decided to spend all our research and time and effort in improving digital ink. So the next thing that you tend to do is, a lot of times you go onto the web. Now the internet's a little bad here today, so let me see whether we can get there. I'm just going to open any website. So let's go here. I'm hoping it will open, but if it doesn't, no issues. We can do something still very quickly. Okay, so you open up a website. A lot of times there are things that you want to share with the rest of your organization, an interesting article. Typically, what would you do? Control-C, copy all the text, Control-V, open up the email, write a small note, and then send the article out to everyone, right? So here's what I would look at doing. All I do is two simple clicks. Oops, give me a second, let me just get back there. So here we go. Two simple clicks, opens up OneNote, I get my screenshot, pop it into OneNote, I say share, and I can share this with a whole bunch of people inside my organization. So one click and I've actually done everything what used to earlier take me 4 to 5 clicks. So this is how we are trying to improve your efficiency with some of the things that we've done and giving you back time to get to the things that you want to go ahead and do it best. So the other thing which Arnav spoke about was a little bit about machine learning. And there's the last capability that I'm going to show you from a pen standpoint, which is I've got Cortana and she is my assistant, my digital assistant. So you've got Siri and you've got Google Now who are there on our from our partners, and Cortana is basically ours. But the big difference between Cortana and Siri and Google Now is Cortana not only searches for stuff on the web, which is what Siri and Google Now do. She also searches for stuff which is there inside your desktop and across your networks. Now that's very important because what we've seen from an organization standpoint is you actually spend bulk of your time searching for files which are inside your network, searching for files that are on your hard disk. You typically tend to go to File Explorer and then you'll type the name of the file and then you'll keep on hunting for that particular file, or you're hunting for a particular PDF file, or you're hunting for a mail, and the gentleman over here is smiling, so I know that you agree with everything that I'm saying. But that's what the reality is, and that's the reason why we brought Cortana to the desktop. So I'm going to show you something very, very simple with Cortana, and again I'm using my trusty pen. So here we go. Open Movies and TV.
Starting Movies and TV.
So she's taking a little bit of time because we are off the internet, otherwise she responds really fast. Sorry, let me just get there again. Open Movies and TV.
Sure thing. Here's Movies and TV.
So I'm going to play you this video, and I want you to get a sense of the beautiful picture display. So it's a 5 million pixel display that we have here on our device, and this basically crushes the Apple Retina display. It's 267 pixels per inch, density of pixels per inch, and today it's the best display that's available out there in the market from a tablet perspective. I have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera and an 8 megapixel autofocus camera. So when you're doing your audio and video conferencing calls, you get absolutely clear, crystal pictures that are displayed across. Great quality of sound, so even if you're not wearing your headset, there's great quality of sound during your audio and video conferencing calls. Can you hear the sound right at the back? Is it clear? I'm just playing it on these two speakers that I have at the front. Let me end that. And now we come to the last piece, which is all about your work. So I've got Word, I've got Excel, PowerPoint, Power BI, what Arnav had shown you out here. I've got all of those loaded out here on my device. There isn't a single thing that I can't do on this device that I could do on my laptop. And that's why we call this device the 2-in-1. That is a tablet that can actually go ahead and replace not only your laptop, but also your tablet as well. So I'm bringing you down to one single form factor. Here is it in tablet mode, so it can stand by itself, it can work by itself. Whenever you need keyboard and mouse as your form of input, clip it together. It's got a very, very strong, powerful magnet, so it's not going to fall off at all. My pen is also magnetically attached to it. So there you go. I'm going to shake this, so you'll see that the pen doesn't come off, so it's not easy to drop this pen down. And that's what Surface is all about. Read, write, and work. Any questions? Sorry, sir.
Other than the price,
What is the cost? The cost is very attractive. It's about the same price that you would pay for a MacBook, and I know a lot of you in the room have got MacBooks. Any other questions? Any ideas cropping up in your mind as to how you can use ink as your new way of basically doing note taking. So think about the fact, right, that a lot of people actually don't understand how to use a keyboard or a laptop. I'll give you a simple example. There was a discussion I was having with one of the partners. So they are into the healthcare business. And one of the biggest challenges that they have is the nurses who they use in healthcare. They've got to do data entry about the patient's medical records. And they were telling me that it's difficult for the nurse because the nurse comes skilled with her primary caregiver skills. They are not actually trained to go ahead and use a computer. And when I was telling him that if I was able to give you a pen and they can digitally capture all the information with regard to the patient records, would that make a difference in the nurse's life? Would it make it a lot more easier for a nurse to go ahead and work the system? And the abundant answer that I got from all the people, including the doctors sitting in the room, was yes. So if you have to think from your standpoint as to how this device can make a difference in your particular department, is there something where you're currently being challenged where people are not able to use the keyboard and the mouse and you think ink is a form, because that's still more, and you can write it in your own language, right? You could use Gujarati, you could use whatever language you want to, Hindi, any of those languages is what you can use to look at capturing your notes. If you think in that fashion, this device will actually transform the way you do your work today.
Also having a conversation with DJSND for getting this empaneled there. So if anybody would be wanting to procure it, that should be possible from either a DJSND or GIL. In addition to that, if there are something specifically that you are looking for, maybe for your senior management, for your other applications, or for, let's say, the MDs and other things, I would request if you can actually look at Surface as an alternative when you are looking at a price point, or when you are looking at a heavy end side laptop or more powerful laptop. You can definitely look at a tablet come a hybrid device that's available. With this, I wanted to thank you all. My only request would be, there are some feedback forms that have been given. If you could just fill it up, and post that, we can actually go ahead for dinner, and with this we'll be ending. I really thank you, and I also thank my team, Shamin, Dheeraj, Arnab, Rohit, Badal, Nitza, for making this successful, and really thank for you being so late, waiting and listening to the conversations. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.